y'all, it's Alicel again. I am back here. We've got a game that I don't know how to read very well. We actually have Crimzon Clover World Explosion next with Raelcun. And before we get started with that, we do have some of those spicy tax donations that came in. We have $35 from Happy Bear, $5 from Alter Maven, $35 from Blupe, and $35 from Grey Goo Girl, all getting some spicy tax in, and just got in Scully Kitty's $35 with her spicy tax. Thank you so much, y'all. And now I'm going to turn it over to our runners.
Hi, I'm Raelcun. We're going to be doing a sort of a mixture showcase here. I'm going to go for 1 CC, which is 1 credit clear. Arcade terminology for only having to put in your quarters 1 time and clear the game. But we're also going to try and show off some scoring strategies while we're doing that. So I'm going to start off playing risky and going for high score strats, and then if things go south because live runs are hard, we'll transition more into safer things and just try to get the 1 credit clear. But I'm joined here by Corndan. Why don't you say hello?
Hello.
That's all you want to say, Corndan?
Well, that's look, right.
All right.
I don't know the game very well. I'm here to help out, though. I know the game some. It's a lot.
Yeah, I very much appreciate Corndan for coming and let me rant at him about game mechanics and send him a huge Google Doc about game mechanics and help me cover some of the moments, because talking about this game and playing it is very hard. We're going to start off with the tutorial. We're going to let the tutorial play, because this game is a lot. So this explains the very basics, and then we'll get into more advanced stuff as we go.
I want you to know the document he sent me was 19 pages, and it's dense.
Yeah.
That's how much there is.
So the first big thing is this lock-on shot that the tutorial is showing off right now. You hold the lock button, and then when enemies enter the circle that expands outwards, they get locked onto. And then you release, and it fires the shots. This is key because that's how you get that green multiplier on the right, which is very important for scoring. Holding the lock button also slows your ship down, as the game is telling us right now, which is very useful. A lot of bullet hell games give you a nudge button, which let you move slow on purpose, so lock buttons kind of functions as that. The bottom of the screen is the multi-gauge, which if you've ever seen Gradius is very similar. As you gain score items, that gauge advances. Press a button, and it selects whichever one is highlighted. We're going to use the manual mode because it lets us min-max the point values on our gauge, and if you use semi-auto, it kind of like gets halfway through a power-up before it selects it, which wastes a lot of the potential ability to max out our usage. And this is the brake mode. It's the hyper mode in Crimzon Clover. It increases your speed, your hitting power, everything bigger and faster, and it generates more points, which is very important for scoring.
It also deletes bullets.
But that's the very, very top level overview, and I'm going to get into this and let Corndan explain Stage 1, because Stage 1's very hard.
So Stage 1 is mostly hard because to get everything set up for the later stages, it's going to be very busy. Raelcun's going to do a lot of work, starting with basically sitting up at the top of the screen. Enemies can be targeted for their break rate, which is just a multiplier to score. We want to go to score, but they're not on screen. They don't take any damage, so you can basically just set that up. There's also, you can kind of see, there's these little medals and the big stars. We want the big stars. The big stars are a lot of points. They're a lot of increase to break rate. And you see, Raelcun 2 has also already gone into break mode. It increases your break rate, which increases your score even more. It deletes everything. It's great. We're trying to go with the options. You get up to 8 options, and we're trying to get all of those up. Raelcun's already got that. That's why that break rate, or the break mode and everything is so important here. And we're already kind of set up now with everything but a shield. At this point in time, too, you can see a lot of these enemies. It's really hard to see because I know there's a lot of stars and everything going on. But you can see these big ships here. They're like the medium-sized ships, but in this level, and in really everything here, the faster you clear enemies, the more enemies that show up, which is great for score. Bad if you want to try and dodge bullets. But Raelcun's got this well set up here. You can just see how crazy it is. I promise you, there are enemies under there, even if you can't see them. And at this point in time, Raelcun's trying to get all these stars and everything up, basically to hit extend break. And so if you can get all the way up there, it increases your break time a little bit further. It's by a 20 or 30% or so. But it also has the effect of deleting all of the bullets and all of the break mode, double break, and extend break, all, when you hit them, act as a homing device for all of the stars and everything. So all of that is huge to try to do that for score. There will be some times where we'll use some of that for safety. So now we're at the boss. It's pretty predictable. The boss has 2 turrets on the side. We want to damage those, but we kind of want to get to break mode first.
Yeah, I didn't want to kill that turret immediately. That was unfortunate, but we can work around it. Oh, popped her shield. Okay, we're in recovery mode.
Yeah. So we'll talk about this a little bit. There's some things we haven't talked about yet. I mean, Ray goes through stage 1 very fast. So we've talked about break rate. Break rate, every time you get a star, you get one of the little medals, you get break rate, right? And so everything just gets multiplied by that. In addition, you see that green bar below, right? When that maxes out, you go from rank low to rank high. It's basically like, overdrive for all the bullets and everything.
Yeah, it also lets the multiplier underneath get doubled, so we can go from 12.8 to 25.6.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that yet, right? So when you do lock-on shots, like Ray's going to be doing here, when you hit with all of those, right, that increases your multiplier for every one you hit. So on low rank, which we're at now, the max that you get is 12.8. When we go to high rank, that can go up. Now, notice it's not going to immediately double your multiplier, but it will, like your next multiplier, go all the way up. Chat's already asking how many digits of that point total are necessary, and the answer is all of them.
The red number is trillion.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to get scores into the trillions here, folks. So, stage 2, right? I promise you it will be in here. It will be hard to see because, once again, everything that's coming down. There's some really big scoring opportunities coming up here with trains. These trains have basically
like
a bunch of popcorn enemies. Yeah, there's cargo cars, and they shoot out mines, and we can destroy the mines for score. Like that there, so all of that is good. So this is a really big scoring opportunity for Ray here. There really are trains and everything under there. Ray knows where everything is. The game is not, enemy placement is not random. It's super determinate. So Ray knows exactly where they need to be at any given point in time to kind of max everything out. And you can just see how ridiculous this is. We haven't really talked about it yet, but there are enemies that when you defeat them, it clears out all of their bullets. You can kind of see, in sort of our scoring up in the upper right corner, there's this thing called flush, and that's literally score from just bullets going away. So we're now on the boss of level 2. And it's a thing with spiders. Ray's going to go into a separate targeting mode, right, for the lock-on shots. There is normally when you do it, there's a circle that comes out from your ship. In this case, it's a little circle now in front of you. It makes it easier to lock everything on, and because these arms have a lot of targets on them, it lets Ray do damage very fast. So when all of that's done, when those are destroyed, we'll focus on the middle. We want to kill the boss here, and this is true of everything, with a full lock shot. Everything that we can lock onto it, and it's extra points. and it's going to be one of two things. If we lost our shield, which we have a shield right now, well, we just lost our shield. I'm sorry, Ray. Commentator's
It's not your
curse.
fault. That was a hard dodge. But
Yeah,
the thing that Corndown was going to say, if you kill a boss with a full lock-on, so all of the lock-ons available kills the boss, their entire explosion animation is just full of extra score items. So it's good for building up the meter at the bottom, and also just more points.
Yeah. So, chat's asking about the classic shmup hitbox. Yeah. So if you look at the bullets, the best way I can describe it is the white or black cores, right? If you see all the bullets, that's really the hurt box of the bullet, and it's like the core of your ship is. So it's kind of that classic crazy bullet hell hitbox where all of the hitboxes are a lot tinier than what you think they would be.
If you look very closely, there's like a little shining yellow mark in the center of the ship. That is the ship's hitbox.
Yeah. So now we're on stage 3. And it's kind of a mixture of bugs and mechanical enemies and stuff like that. So the goal is to basically stay in high rank. We want that high multiplier, and just keep the break rate and the multiplier as high as possible. One thing that we haven't really talked about, but it's evident right here, is that when you're in high rank, there are more bullets and everything on screen, especially for bosses.
Their bullets generally tend to travel faster too.
So we're now at the stage 3 mid boss, and if you're in break mode, you can kind of take this down fairly easily. But the big thing, you want to avoid the lasers and avoid all of that. I think here in a second, we'll have some time for a donation or two.
Yeah, this section is good. It's just lots of enemies. We've mostly explained what's going on, but you have some time for some donations if you have them.
No donations right now, but I do want to go ahead and shout out our charity that we are supporting. We are supporting Take This. Take This is a mental health nonprofit, and their main mission is to inform the gaming community about mental health issues, provide education on different disorders and prevention techniques, and reduce the overall stigma around mental illness.
All right, so now that Ray's died, there's a couple of things that happen. The speed goes down, and if you have full options, right, they go down from 8 options to 6. So the other cool thing here, these enemies here, these giant worms that we just saw for about like 1/10 of a second, if you kill the head, it blows up all the other segments, and they all give large stars, and large stars are really important for scoring.
Really need to get homing. Oh. Recovery can be hard sometimes. Oh, that was just a bad mistake. We're fine though. Just need to calm down.
All right, so Ray just picked up homing. The homing options, they'll actually walk through and instead of staying in formation, they'll get closer to the enemies, which helps do some damage, but your damage is a little less concentrated.
Yeah, you can see them like following the boss right now. In most instances, that lets you do more damage a little bit faster, but it's harder to focus your damage when you're trying to do some scoring strategies. So we don't always want homing. I'm going to try and get a shield here. She'll bump me back up into high rank.
Not quite.
Yeah, the shield gives a temporary bonus to your rank meter whenever you have a shield. It's about to go back into high rank, though. Yep, there we go.
Right, and that makes sense. You know, the game thinks, well, now that you have a shield, right, we can throw everything at you. And you want to be in high rank because you can get the multipliers high, and so it's really good for scoring.
But you can actually see it on that boss. When the boss went into high rank, the bullets actually sped up.
Yeah. So one thing you've kind of seen here is Ray will hit break mode sometimes right at the end of a boss, and it's not just to show off. When you hit break mode, it sucks all of the medals and everything in, so it's an easy way to get all of your stars and scoring without having to do a whole lot.
It's also for consistency. If I was doing a PB attempt, I wouldn't do that. But a lot of practice for this is like individual stage practice, which you start with no meter at the bottom. It's empty. So for a marathon showcase where I'm focusing on consistency, sometimes I'll just clear that meter just so I'm back on a known state. I have a predictable route through the stage for when I'm going to break and where. Just extra safety at a marathon, basically.
And this is another good spot where you can see where Ray is using the homing shot, because you want to kind of destroy these guys pretty fast, because it spawns extra waves of enemies, which means more score.
I missed my break because I gained too many points, and then it turned off my homing shot.
Oh no! So this game is like Gradius, right? If you don't hit your thing right when you want it, right, and you pick anything else up, in this case, just go get more score, it's going to go past what you want. So, we're suffering here from too many points. Too many stars. Ray, stop getting so many stars.
That's not going to happen anytime soon. This is the highest scoring opportunity stage, though. Like, if I can just not make any huge mistakes and make it to the end boss, you can make upwards of 9 to 10 trillion on this stage.
So this mid-boss here, in other modes, if we were playing arcade mode, this is the mid-boss in stage 2. But it's here instead. So
I actually like this because the mid-boss in stage 4 normally is pretty trivial. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to talk about the boss, but it's gone now.
Yeah. In general, killing bosses quickly when you can, unless you need to do something to milk score from them, is good. Because whenever you're not breaking, the break rate is going down. So less time that break rate is decreasing means more points.
So this part is kind of annoying, right? These enemies encircle you with laser. You don't have a lot of room to move. And so you basically have to kill them off. And as you kill them off, it destroys the lasers. That's why there's so many points everywhere. So they're good for scoring, but you have to be a little bit careful about your movement there. So this area, though, is just a lot of popcorn enemies. They're called that because they pop when you shoot them. So there's a lot of opportunity here to get your break rate high and to get some really good scoring opportunities. And because we're in high rank, when they die, they all shot out bullets.
Revenge bullets is what I call them.
Yeah, revenge bullets. So here we get some large ships. You probably don't remember them from stage 2 for the same reason you don't see them now, because there's just all sorts of. I promise you, there are large ships under there. There were. All right, so we're on the boss. Ray's gonna do a lot to basically milk points out of this boss. There's a lot of really good ways to do that, and basically, we're gonna get through this phase 1. We want to do this one as fast as possible. Because we want to keep our break rate high for stage 2.
Fortunately, I popped my shield, which lowers my break rate.
Great. Well,
we can still get some good score out of this, though.
Yeah, there's some really good score. So what's going to happen here is these two turrets, they keep popping back up, right, with other stuff. So Ray's going to bounce back and forth between the two turrets, kill one, move to the next, kill one, move to the next, back and forth. And you can do that without doing a whole lot of damage to the boss. So you can see every time you kill a turret, it destroys all of its own bullets and everything. So there's a lot of score, a lot of this. And so you can just milk the points here. And because we're getting all those medals, that's going to keep our break rate high. Which is not always what happens with the boss, right? Break rate's going to go down. But so this keeps our medals high, and we can also get that multiplier high, or keep it going at 25.6.
Yeah, and in other modes, as soon as you kill a turret, it gets reloaded. But since the range mode is the intermediate difficulty, it'll only reload them once you kill both turrets. There's also a time limit on this. In other modes, you can just milk indefinitely. It can take upwards of 5 minutes on just this phase alone. But since this is the intermediate difficulty, they put a cap on that, and this boss will eventually time out. Like that.
But I mean, you can already see, if you look in the bottom right corner of the history, you know, on all the score from all the stages, right? Stage 4, right, on its own, already is 6 trillion points. Just about 6 trillion points.
Oh, unfortunate death right there.
That was unfortunate.
I want to enter the next stage with homing when possible, but that's not quite going to be possible. So I'll go for maxing my speed, getting my options going, and then I'll have to get homing partway through this stage.
It's not the end of the world, but that is tough.
This is a good
do
pace.
I have a quick...
Yeah, go for it.
We did actually go ahead and meet that incentive for Packland for the Pro Mode showcase. So
Nice.
GG's to all of y'all for getting that showcase in.
All right, so now we're on stage 5, which is the last stage of the game. It's going to be really important here that Ray does not use a continue, so we can see the true final boss.
I got my homing back, which was like my top priority on the stage. Technically, homing is less scoring, but it's safer, and this stage sucks. So I just prefer the safety here.
So what you can't really see very well here, because all of the mass of everything that Ray is doing for scoring, are these giant laser turrets here. That when you kill them, it clears out the laser and gives you lots of points for it. So you can see the lasers, but you can't really see the turrets that Ray is killing, because Ray is doing a very good job of killing them.
Yeah, one of the important things for survival, especially when you're going for points in these types of games, is target firing the most dangerous enemies. Because the less they're on screen, the less they spawn bullets. Right now, milking these missiles.
Yeah. There are missiles here. You can kind of see them. Ray's trying to get that for as much points. So one of the nice things here is entering this area with a lot of multiplier means we can carry that through this whole time.
If you stay on the left side of the screen, the tanks that are coming in, the small enemies, respawn a little bit faster. So I'm just hugging it just to get a little bit more points there. I think I don't remember if I actually told you that.
I think we talked about it, but it's not in the 19 pages of stuff.
We did like an hour-and-a-half call where I was explaining things to Corn Dan, and he was like, please write some of this down for me. I will not remember. So then I wrote it down, and it wound up being 19 pages. I'm like, I'm so sorry. You don't have to talk about all of this. Please don't think you do.
I'd like to think I've covered most of it.
Oh, unfortunate. Okay.
Oh.
We're just going to play it safe now. I was trying to do a specific strategy to keep this multiplier for the entire first half of the stage. Get a lot of points out of it. But right now, my top priority is I want to get through this next mid-boss with homing on. So I need to get option and then homing again. And you can see the difference here. This is on low rank. The bullets are much less, much slower. And there's high rank.
Now there's high rank.
Trying to safely farm some of these missiles. Oh, unfortunate. It's going to be tough to get homing, but it'll be possible. I need to stay up close to the boss here.
You'll be able to get it.
There we go. Point blanking does result in more points and more meter. I don't remember if we actually mentioned that.
We did.
Okay.
Briefly.
It's important to have homing because of this boss coming up here. Well, former boss.
Well, so now we're in the spider shaft. Right? Remember that boss from stage 2? It's really important to have homing here for that because since it's coming at you from below. A lot of your bullets won't do damage to it, so having homing is good. So this is another spot. The faster you kill them, the more that show up. So, you know, we just killed one. Now we're going to go kill another. Maybe we'll see a third.
No, we shouldn't see a third with that. I don't want to see a third.
Okay,
yeah.
So now we're on the missile planes again. So if Ray killed everything super fast, there would be a third spider here. And they manage that so that this is the way it is, because we would rather farm, break rate, and maintain our multiplier with the missiles.
This is called the Hallway of Hell. It should be apparent pretty quickly why.
Yeah.
And this is the stage 3 boss just chilling on the right. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, there goes the PB. I was on pace where I could have possibly PB'd, but we're just going to go for the 1cc now.
Yeah, that stage 3 boss did something we didn't actually see with the stage 3 boss, right? It shoots out these lasers and you kind of have to move with it all. And it's really, really annoying. It was annoying as a boss, but it's more annoying as you're going by because now you have to move and watch the lasers at the same time.
Barely got that break in time to save me. Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how tough this is.
Alright, I'm going to go into focus mode here. I have enough lives where we can get the 1cc. I'm not going to try and distract myself by talking. This boss is very hard. It's 3 bosses in a row, and if I game over on any of them, the next one won't spawn.
I will attempt to be brief in talking about this. Right, stage 5 has a whole bunch of phases. So the first one, these enemies just kind of pop out. You know, we want to kill them. They're a consistent Ray, so you just don't want them to stack up. So Ray is killing them basically as fast as possible to save room on the screen. So now we get to the fun boss. Basically, that middle section, Ray is kind of baiting those out, those curved arcs, to make sure that they have a safe spot. If you sit in the middle and they kind of launch that in, you have nowhere to go. So now this is just more kind of a bullet hell. Right, we're in high mode, so we were in high mode. The bullets move really fast.
If I didn't die there, I was probably going to die in this pattern on high.
Right, because this pattern on high is rough.
Then we just try to speed kill this one. I'm talking to you. I said I wasn't going to.
I know. Look, clearly I'm not doing a good job here. I mean, this is tough. So now we get to my my favorite boss thing. We're in space. This boss is slamming itself on the bottom of the screen because, for reasons I don't really know. I mean, it makes sense when you're viewing it on a screen.
Oh, okay. I actually try to kill this boss before the final phase before it enters high rank, and you can see why there.
Yeah. So hey, we beat that, right? This is the end of the game, right? Except no, now we get to the EX boss, right? We have the extra boss here. So if you do anything, if you get a shield, you do all that, right? The boss also gets a shield here. So you can see also where this is tough. This boss just spams, right, all the bullets around. It throws out waves of bullets like that. Ray is making this look easy, right? But Ray's doing a good job of kind of baiting that out to make sure that there's a safe spot. So some of these bullets, right, they look like they're just coming out. Those bullets are bouncing off the side of the screen and coming back. Right, so you don't have to worry about just the ones kind of coming at you. You have to worry about ones that are coming off the side of the screen, because they come off sometimes at weird angles and hit you, and it's bad. And now we're on the true last boss. So, right, we alternate between like these random shots with the targeted shots. This is another spot. Ray's doing a lot here to bait these out, to have safe space to be in. If you don't do that, you'll die. And it's basically rinse and repeat, right? Until now we get to the point, the boss is just, it's an endless attack of everything here. It's very tight. And Ray is doing an amazing job here of avoiding everything.
Oh, high rank!
Until we get to high rank. But that's okay, because we have 2 lives left. And, you know, we're going to beat the boss.
We choked a little bit at the end, but we got there. That's the 1cc.
We got there.
The true final boss on this game is a little bit mean, because if you don't kill this boss, if you die on the previous one and this one doesn't spawn, it just gives you a, you're almost there. Please try again without using a continue, and won't even roll the credits. So the 1cc is the true ending, as is common in these types of games. Get the score bonus. If we hadn't died in the hallway of hell, we are actually on pace to get a PB, so I'm very happy with that showcase, even with a little bit of sloppiness at the end. But this is Crimzon Clover. I love this game a lot. It's one of the most popular non-cave shmups, and cave is a whole thing. People either love or hate cave. I'll be playing a cave game on Friday, so you can come back for that. But Crimzon Clover is great. If you've never seen it, if you're interested in shmups, I do recommend picking up. It's got a novice mode that's very approachable. This is the intermediate difficulty. It gets even harder than this. But I think this is good for a showcase because it's got some good scoring strategies and it doesn't completely fill the screen with bullets. But thanks again for Corn Dan for coming on.
You're welcome.
If you're interested in seeing more of me and shmup stuff, like I said, on Friday at 4:05 p.m. Eastern, we'll be running Death Smiles, gothic horror-inspired cave shooter. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I do shmups on my stream every now and then. I don't stream a lot, but you can always go over to Games Done Quick, our daily speedrun content. I'm the producer for that, so I'm usually hanging around when we're running those shows.
Well, and thank you, thank you so much for putting on that showcase. Again, this was Crimzon Clover World Explosion, and this was Raelcun and Corn Dan. Be sure to give them a follow. Go ahead, check them out, and we look forward to seeing y'all later on in the marathon.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
And we do have a couple of new incentives that did open. And I'll go ahead and go through those really quickly. We have elevator action returns for hard violence. that is $100